Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Elena, and if you're new to my channel, here is one fun fact about me. I am under 5 feet tall. To be specific, I am 4 feet 10, which is the same height as an actor Danny DeVito. How cool is that? Today we will be making high-end everyday farmhouse decor. These DIYs are super simple Dollar Tree DIYs and are perfect for upcoming spring. So let's jump right into it. For this DIY, you will need a birdhouse from a Dollar Tree, a little stick from, this is the old brush that I don't need it anymore, so I thought that wooden stick would be perfect for a handle. Then we're gonna have a planter pot and a little bird that is all from Dollar Tree. So, as you can tell, what we're going to do right now is use the Beverly chalk paint in the color white to paint the birdhouse, then the little wooden spool. And when I was done with all that, I decided to make the roof different color, which is the hazelnut from the chalk paint as well. Then I got some of my foam, floral foam, and I measured it kind of in a circle so it will fit tightly inside my flower plant. And I used the hot glue to secure it. And to give the birdhouse a little bit of dimension, I used my permanent marker, outlined the roof, the bottom, and I did like a stitch around the entrance. Then I applied ton of hot glue for that little stick to hold, and I let it sit for quite some time so the glue completely dried. So now, as you can tell, the birdhouse is secured on a stick. I double check, but the Share Bonder, the glue never disappoints. So I did a little like hole in my foam and I added ton of glue to it again and inserted my new birdhouse. Then after that, I pulled up some old greenery that I have leftovers because I have not shopped for the new one since I have ton from the last year. And I just randomly inserted in a flower pot. You can add any greenery you have on hand. And as you can tell, my bird is a little bit too big for this house, so I decided to place it on top. If you have a smaller bird, I would love, the idea was to place that bird on that little handle by the entrance, but mine was too big. So, anyway, I still think it turned out pretty cute. Okay, guys, for this project, you will need one of those Dollar Tree long sign, 3 frames, 4x6, 3 miniature clay pots. They are everywhere right now in the Dollar Tree, and you will need some scrapbook paper, looks like a wood. So what I did, I removed the hearts, sent down my sign, and then used my chalk paint in a color ink to paint my sign all the way black. After that, I took my frame apart and painted it all in my white chalk paint. When the white paint was completely dry, I used the hazelnut color and did a little bit of dry brushing over my frames. So after that, I removed the inside, which I already did. I already told you that. And I outlined it on my scrapbook paper, cut it out, then removed everything from the back of the frame that originally came, used my Elmer's glue, and attached my scrapbook paper to my frame. So then I assembled the frame back together. I think it turned out pretty cute and left it alone. Went back to the clay pots. So I used the little foam pieces. They are in a floral department. If you would like to look for them, there are a ton of them right now. So I squeezed them a little because I want them to hold tight in a flower pots. And then I just added the greenery to it. So after that was done, I placed my frames on the sign to kind of eyeball it before I glue them because sometimes I glue them in the wrong place. But anyway, so I used the hot glue to secure all the frames. on my new sign. And after that was done, I used ton of hot glue on my little pots before I glue them to the frame. But I think it turned out pretty cute. What do you guys think? Have you tried it? Have you done something like that before? If you did you do something differently? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. So for this project, you will need two stretch canvases. The size was 8 by 10 and 6 by 8, a candle holder, and some wooden planks. So what I did, I removed the staples and take off the material. Then I used my antique wax and with the little sponge, I dipped it and then used the paper towel and kind of repeat the method all over the frame. And I did the same thing to the second one. Then I left it alone for a little bit so it was completely dry. So after that, I got those wooden planks and on 8 by 10 it fit perfectly. I needed three. But for my smaller one, they were a little longer and I needed an extra one. So I measured everything before I even paint anything and cut it out using my miter saw. After that, I paint all the little planks with my chalk paint in a color white and then use the hot glue to secure them on top of my tray. So next I use my staple gun to add some staples to the side. I love playing with my staple gun. You do not have to do this. The hot glue holds it pretty well. Then next, what I did, I pulled up some Jenga blocks and added a little legs to my bottom of the tray. I added one block on each side and it was pretty steady. So I was really happy with that. Next, I decided I wanted to be more rustic. So I went back to my antique wax and did some dry brushing. I just love how the dry brush look and I added to the both of my frames and a little bit to the candle holder. So when we have finished dry brushing, I went back to my candle holder. I added ton of hot glue and try to place it on the middle of the bottom frame, the tray as even as possible. I think it turned out pretty good and even because when you placed it hot glue on it, it's on it, believe me. So there's no way back unless you want to ruin the tray. So then I added some more hot glue to the top of my candle holder and placed my top tray on top of it. And I love how it turned out. Now, this is one of my favorite pieces for my spring decor. As you could tell, it was really easy to make and it's such a high-end looking piece. I'm telling you, I'm playing with it every week. I'm changing the arrangements on it. For this project, you can use any burlap fabric you have on hand, a mason jar, mine is plastic, some rocks, some jute, and some greenery or flowers of your choice. I wanted to make like a straight cut through my burlap. So what I did, I pulled the string and it made a line and then I used my scissors to cut. So now I have an even piece. I used my hot glue to secure it and I wrapped the burlap fabric all the way around my cute little basin jar. When you were done with the burlap, I put some rocks in there and added a little bit of jute right to the top of the mason jar. So that gives like this mason jar a little shape. And I did not cut the excess of burlap from the top. I just made the little cuts and bend it all the way down for now. And you will see later on, we'll glue them a little bit in place. But for now, it's good to go for inserting our greenery or the flowers. I just love the combination of green and white. It makes me feel like it's springs in the air. So what I did, I insert all my greenery and then right now I inserting a little bit of hot glue to the top and secure that burlap so it still looks like it's bending out, but it is looking nice and fancy. And the best part, it fit perfectly on my little two-tier tray. Okay, for this DIY, you will need some square wooden plank and you will need five of those, a paper towel, an antique wax, and a little brush. So, what we'll do now, we will stain the wood and use the paper towel to wipe it off to get to the color that we want. I want it kind of medium dark, not all the way dark. You can make it as dark as you want. Believe me, that antique wax is awesome. So when it all dried, I started gluing all the sides together, and I was very careful because I wanted to match since it's a wooden plank, so sometimes there's gaps, and you will see what I mean about the gaps. But I secure all the sides, all the four and the bottom, and see those gaps, but I did not want them to be seen. So I used a little bit of jute on all four sides, and then it looks so awesome that I added that jute to the top as well. Sometimes you add something and it just makes it so much better that you even didn't think of that when you started the project. Now we will use this foam cube, and it is in the floral department of Dollar Tree, so it fits perfectly in this box. So a lot of hot glue at the bottom. Well, it don't need to be a lot, but I think, go overboard with the hot glue. So after you place your cube inside your little box, you start adding your flowers. Usually what works for me best, I add the flowers and then I kind of assess the situation with the gaps and see where I need to insert a little more greenery. Sometimes I am so OCD that it's not even funny, especially with the flowers that they need to be perfect. And my husband's like, it's your flowers, so they look gorgeous. Just leave them alone because the more I mess with them, the more frustrated I get. So now I think it turned out pretty cute, but as always, it was missing something. And I don't know, guys, if you have seen, Dollar Tree has this amazing laser wood cutouts, or you say laser cutouts, and they have all kinds of different themes. So I pulled up one with the birds, and I decided I didn't want to really use it that plain wood color, so dry brush it over using the apple barrel antique white color, and I think it's just was amazing. I like how the bird looked, and I love this box. I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with the flowers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys got some inspiration. Let me know which one was your favorite. I would love to know that. And if you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button. But for now, love you all very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.